So thanks to them, and let's tribute them. Let's give a tribute to them. And please see this video. And after that, I have an activity is waiting for you. I don't want to keep you all as passive listeners, so I want you to be active in my session. So there will be activities for you. So please be cooperative, and let's see a video. For time being, I'm muting my video.
The cities are empty.
Let me read out. The cities are empty. The landmarks are isolated. Emma, is it audible?
Not a single person seen around the neighborhood. Theaters have no audiences, and the skies have no airplanes. The world has shut down. But education knows no lockdown.
Good morning, class. Are you joining online?
The voice of knowledge booming through glass, now booming through a voiceover. From blackboard to the computer screen. Picking up chalk to picking up video classes. Correcting homework to uploading the right answers. The syllabus doesn't change for this person. And the lesson on hope is greater than before. While we thank our warriors on the front line, the future looks forward to its set of doctors, bankers, scientists, police, and change makers. And to shape that future steadfastly, one such person continues to teach every day. Here's to all the teachers who are not letting this pandemic affect academics.
Hope you are all able to see the video. Emma, is it visible to all? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Audible.
Okay, what about the video? Is it visible to everyone present in the virtual classroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so audience, I would wait. You people are doing the same online teaching from your home. Hope I'm right. So please reflect in this format in the chat room, okay? I used to think online teaching is, I mean earlier, before taking online classes or before taking online teaching, your experience as a teacher, okay? I used to think online teaching is number one, yes. Number two, what you feel, number three. So three things that you used to think before you are an online teacher. And now, after experiencing the virtual classroom, what you are thinking about online teaching. So now I think number one, number two, and number three. Could you please share your reflections over the chat box? Hope my pre-instructions are clear to everyone present here. First, try to give your online teaching is 1, 2, 3. Now I think online teaching is 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me give you an example from my end. I used to think online teaching is creative, but now I think it needs lots of preparation. So in this way, I just want you to reflect in the chat box. Yeah, I could see few reflections. Thank you so much. Deepa ma'am was telling before online teaching, she was thinking it is difficult, not easy, and can I do it? And now what she feels, let me wait and see. Okay, now many people are thinking it is interesting. Yes, Archana ma'am is telling it is innovative, but now I think it's easy if we practice. Yes, it needs lots of practice and planning. Interesting earlier, but now monotony. Okay. Yeah, because while I'm talking, it is not possible to see you all, and it is not possible for you people to contact me. So it would be difficult. I used to think that have to learn separately for online teaching, but now it is as of normal classroom. Yeah. Privita ma'am is telling it is a normal classroom. Okay, she's not seeing any changes. Okay. Yeah, Latha ma'am is telling it is interactive before. Yes, yes, interactive. It is challenging. Yeah. Okay. So many of you are agreeing the fact that it needs lots of practice and knowledge. Yeah, knowledge with respect to the technical gadgets. I used to think online teaching is innovative, but now I think it may be interesting and challenging with proper preparation. Yes, fine. Difficult to reach students. Charlata ma'am is telling it is difficult to reach students. I don't know whether it is with offline classes or online classes. Getting more technical knowledge. Okay. So many of you have this feel. It needs lots of preparation and effort. Am I right? Yes, it needs lots of preparation and effort. Okay, let's come back to the session. Thank you so much for all your. Let me come back to our screen. Actually, the role of technology in the 20th century. Today, technology and education are inseparable. It is inseparable. The agricultural age was based on plows and animals that pulled them. The industrial age on engines and fuels fed them. Now we are in information age. In this information age, we rely on computers and the networks. Actually, computers and networks unite us and they interconnect us like this. I mean, to conduct a webinar, it is essential to have computers and network. Today, we are living in the world of information revolution. And here, once again. Now, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Now visible, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So today we are living in the world of information revolution, and all our learners are 21st century learners. They are able to collaborate, they are able to communicate well, they are creative thinkers, and they will able to do everything in a different form with the help of technology around them. So it is easy to mold them. Being teacher educators, you may be knowing this revolution in the field of education. Eric Ashby, he has identified 4 revolutions in the field of education. The first one is, the first revolution occurred when the society began to differentiate the role of the adult, and they want to educate the young ones, and hence they wanted to shift the young ones from parents to teachers. That is, the first revolution is they are making the adults to come out from home to school. So the second revolution in the field of education speaks about the adoption of the written word as a tool of education. Before written words come into existence, oral instruction prevailed, and it was only with reluctance writing was permitted, with spoken words in the classroom. And the third revolution is very important in the field of education, that is the invention of printing press. Yes, after that only subsequent availability of books there. Then the fourth revolution in Ashby's view is the development in electronics. After this, there is notable change in the teaching and the learning process and the methodologies and the pedagogies that we are adapting in our classrooms nowadays. Yes, after the invention of electronics, the integration of information and communication technology in our classroom plays a vital role. So we have to thank the invention of electronics. Now, what type of learners we are having in our classrooms nowadays? What is the difference between the Gurukula system of education and this 21st century online teaching? Hope there is lots of changes, and as teacher educators, you are well aware of the changes that is happening in the teaching and the learning methodologies. What type of learners we are having, what type of methodology we are following inside our classroom, what type of assessments we are following in our classroom. So we have to think big, because our audience, I mean the target audience, that is our learners, they are 21st century learners, they are tech savvy people. So it is very much essential to plan from starting from learning objectives till assessment. We need online teaching platform. Let's see a video. Let me project a video, and after this again you have to reflect on what type of teaching methodology that this particular teacher is adapting inside the classroom. Yes?
Ma'am,
Yes?
the screen is not visible, ma'am.
Once again, I'm going to play the video. You please tell me whether it is visible to all, okay? It is actually, it is blank now.
Okay, okay.
Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Who wants to see a volcano? 3, 2, 1. Look at that lava, look at that smoke coming out of that. Pretend you're an airplane and fly over the tornado.
They are learning about volcanoes and tornadoes.
DNA, genes, things that we can't see. And so the most exciting thing for me with the AR technology was that I could see kids get an aha moment that I
The
couldn't
simple
get by
questions.
just telling them about it.
The minute I saw it pop up on the screen, it made me want to get up and walk to it.
We actually get to turn around and look at things from all angles. So it gave us a nice perspective.
See if you can figure out what that might be based on what you know about the respiratory system.
I got to see where the alveoli branched off, and I could look inside them and see how everything works.
She's studying about the structure of heart and the alveoli.
Cool.
Yes. Or could you please tell me what sort of teaching methodology that your teacher is adapting inside the classroom? May I get few answers, please, in the chat room? Yeah, it's virtual reality, and now yes, experimental learning. Actually, I should say it is experiential learning. That is providing experience virtually. Yes, VR and AR. Okay, thank you so much for sharing your reflections. And yeah, many of them are telling cell phones are not allowed. Yes, after this pandemic period, your institutional head will allow you to take your cell phone along with you to your classroom. And we have to prove that we are doing well inside the classroom. That is very much essential. Yeah, thank you so much. So now we have the option of having artificial reality or virtual reality inside the classroom. How can we bring the artificial reality or VR inside the classroom? It is so easy nowadays. We know how to use YouTubes. So the preparation of VR kits, I mean, the kit for seeing all such things are available online. We can make our learners to prepare VR kits. in their home itself. So during this pandemic period, actually in our school, we have given this as a fun activity for the children. Actually, we asked them to prepare a VR kit, and luckily many of the children are able to prepare the VR kits. And after this, after preparing the VR kit, we have provided few YouTube links to the children, and they are able to see the three-dimensional view of the concepts that they are learning. Yeah, screen is not visible. Actually, I'm not sharing the screen now. 1 second.
Screen.
Now, let's see what are all the changes, what are all the challenges that we are facing in our online teaching classroom. So what is a practice? Practice means, practice is, yeah, you are right. A practice means doing something regularly in order to be able to do it better. Then what's a challenge? Challenge is something new and difficult which requires great effort and determination. So normally we will be starting the class as a teacher educator. Normally, how will we start the classroom? We will be whether it is a teacher or a teacher educator, that doesn't matter. We will be starting the classroom with learning outcomes or learning objectives. Then we will be going on with the teaching and the learning process by choosing any of the pedagogies which is available, followed by assessment. So we have to categorize our classroom in such a way that we have to engage our learners throughout the session. That is very much essential. Are we engaging our children throughout the classroom? Is it possible to engage our learners engage throughout the classroom in online teaching? That matters a lot. So what are the changes or what are the challenges that we are facing in this online teaching platform? Dear participants, I'm not going to share or I'm not going to discuss any information. I'm going very light, and I have not explored any information from internet. What are all the challenges or what are the changes that I faced during my e-learning classes, I'm sharing. That's all. Okay, so these are all the practices. Practices, yeah, doing something regularly. So what we do regularly as a teacher, normally we will be taking the class, we will be assessing the students, and we will be categorizing them as below achievers, average achievers, achievers, right? Toppers, yeah, the word toppers. Normally we will be categorizing in this way, but now the role of the teacher as well as the role of the learner is getting changed in this online teaching platform. The role of the teacher is changed from the sage on the stage to the guide on the side. I expect most educators here are familiar with this concept. You can be a sage on the stage in your classroom using your expertise to share knowledge with your students through lectures or presentations, and nowadays few of you are using Google Classroom or any online platform. Now, what's the difference between the sage on the stage and guide on the side? As a guide on side, we have to use our skills to engage our learners. So throughout the session, it is essential to make our learners to be active participants. That is the role of guide on the side. So what are all the challenges that we are facing as a teacher during online teaching? Yeah, the first question. Second one, learning. It's a practice we normally do. So what is the change that happened in this practice? Yeah, we are shifting from offline classroom to virtual room. We are in cloud now. So what are the challenges during the learning process? Third thing is teaching. We shifted from blackboard to smartboard. I could recall my teacher who used to come with a broad smile on her face, and my zoology teacher, she used to draw nicely and beautifully on the blackboard, and she used to keep that particular blackboard for a week. because visual thinking will create lots of retention in our mind, right? So she used to keep that blackboard for a week in order to make those things to be recognized by us. And now that was shifted to smartboard because we wanted to give some real life experiences or multi-sensory approaches to children. So we shifted to smartboard, and now we are in video screen. So what is the difference, or what is the challenges that we are facing in this teaching phase? Most important of all is assessments, because we will be wrapping up our class by conducting a formative assessment by the end of every session, because we want to self-reflect ourselves and we want to know the level of the learners. So the assessment process is shifted from pen paper to click and drag. In order to do this, I mean, the task of the learner is so easy in the process of assessment, because they are just going to click and they will be dragging something on the screen, right? But designing that assessment worksheet or designing that assessment is a very challenging task for a teacher. How can she or he can do? Right. Next one is broadcasting. So in order to cascade the information from the institutional side to the parents or to the learners, now we are relying on WhatsApp group instead of handbook. So this is also a change, I feel. Then learners. Here I have a doubt. I don't know whether the learners are active participants in the online teaching platform. I don't know. Because suppose if I ask you people to mute your video, I mean unmute your video now, I could be able to see your, I mean the real affairs or the real gestures actually you will be showing. Okay, so that is a great difficulty. That is also a challenge, and how are we going to rectify these challenges? And next one is pedagogy from offline teaching. I mean, we can take field trip as one of the programs that we are using in every schools. So shifting from field trip to VR and AR, that is also a great change. And what are all the challenges? Is it possible to, yeah, a few of you have written in the chat box that the management or the institution will not allow us to take our mobile phone inside the classroom. Yes, but I'm sure, I'm damn sure that after this pandemic period, you will be having both online as well as offline classes. And with respect to technology, the entire shift is from unisensory to multisensory. So these are all the few practices and few changes that I have analyzed in my online teaching classes. And now let's see what all the challenges we are facing because of these practices. Yeah. So I have taken only the 5 stakeholders in the field of education. We are going to discuss, or I'm going to get reflections from your end on the changes and the challenges experienced by the learners, teachers, parents, teaching and the learning process, and the institution during online teaching. So in order to, while collecting feedbacks or while reflecting myself as a teacher, I just collected few feedbacks from all these stakeholders. Let me try to play the feedback because they are the actual people who participated in the virtual classroom. First, let's see the reflection from, let's hear the reflection from learners. Actually, I have collected the feedback from kindergarten kid to the college student, from a college student. So it is interesting to know the feedback. It is interesting, really it is interesting to get the feedback from them. Let me play the first feedback. Actually, it is from a kindergarten kid. Okay, you please listen. If you are not able to listen, don't worry. I will translate. Okay.
Hello everyone. I'm going to tell you how I felt, what I didn't like in my online class and what I liked in my online class. I didn't like that my teachers were telling me mute in between of the class. what I didn't like it.
Hope you are able to listen. Actually, she is telling, her teacher is always telling mute, mute, mute in between the classes. And the second challenge she experienced is,
The teachers were not following their rules.
hope you are all able to hear this. Yes, the second thing she's sharing is, they are telling mute, mute, and mute to the learners, but they are not following the rules. So this is the feedback that I got from a kindergarten kid. And this is the most important thing we have to analyze as a teacher. And second thing, once on
I could at least know, I could at least do fun activities after some reading and writing, and I can listen to stories.
So at last, she's happy that after the teaching and the learning process happened, they used to give some fun activities as an assessment tool. So she's so happy to do that assessment. And second thing, I have collected the feedback from a primary kid. Emma, is it visible and is it audible?
Yes,
Any organized?
Yes,
Yeah, fine. Thank you, thank you.
Hello everybody, it's a different experience to sit before the laptop and listen to my teachers. I usually listen to songs using a headphone, but
He is telling that normally he will use laptop only to hear songs. Now the practice is getting changed because they have to sit in front of the laptop to listen to their teachers. Sorry. So this is a great change.
hello everybody, it's a different experience to sit before the laptop and listen to my teachers. I usually listen to songs using a headphone, but now I am using it to listen to teaching. It's nice to know that my friends are also online. Although we cannot chat, the visuals the teachers post help me to understand the lessons pretty much better. I enjoy operating the laptop from my home, although the online classes are helpful. I find it difficult to sit for a longer time before the laptop, concentrating on the screen. I miss my real classroom where I can chat with my friends and do little mischiefs. There is one thing I am happy about online classes. Teachers cannot pinch me when I do a mistake. They cannot come out of the screen, and I am safe in that way. On the whole, online classes sometimes give me good feelings and sometimes make me nostalgic about my class.
Hope it is audible to all. He is saying that the teacher cannot come out of the screen because I think he's a little mischievous boy. So he's so happy that he is happy with online teaching in such a way that the teacher is not able to pinch him. I mean, he or she is not able to give punishment. Third, from a fifth grade children.
Hello everyone, this is me Dia. Today I'm going to share my experience on e-learning. E-learning helped me to become a techie because I was able to navigate between different windows.
She's saying that she's able to navigate windows and online teaching made her a tech-savvy person. Yeah, this is also one of the great change that I see. And the fourth one is from a board class student. Board class student means a kid who is studying in a grade 10.
Hello everyone, I'm in my 10th grade, anxious about the CBSE board exams that I have to face at the end of this academic year. And what a sensational way that the session has begun, we are all aware of. Well, when it comes to challenges, I was wondering whether our classes would ever begin. The whole world was going online, and no word from our school till recently. The long wait, where we were kept in the dark after having taken our 9th standard exams by the end of February itself was a challenge. And I was literally pulled out of my zombie life by my mom that believe me, it's better if teachers teach and let mothers be with moms. And so it's a welcome relief to hear from school and classes begin their snail pace. I know not if a learning experience is going to be perfect, but we will try. I appreciate.
Actually, After getting reflection from each compartment people, I recognize that they want offline classrooms because they want to see their teacher not as a virtual person, but as a person whom they love more. Last, I got reflection from a college student. Please hear this.
Hello, I'm Gayatri, student of English Pedagogy from Annamalai College of Education for Women. Because of the lockdown, the traditional classroom teaching had got severely affected. But to make effective use of the quarantine period and to stay focused on our learning track, we had made use of the digital platform, the Zoom application. Prior to the scheduled meeting on Zoom, the study materials, including the PowerPoint presentation on the topic, testing and evaluation in English, was shared via mail by our instructor, Ms. Joycelyn Shamala. Using the Zoom platform, 16 of our pedagogy students got connected with ma'am. The meeting facilitated the discussion of content after initial self-learning process. Some students at times faced disruption in the network, but it didn't affect us greatly. Automatically, after some time, the connection got revived. Then, a day after the meet, Google Forms containing the questions from discussed material was sent via mail and Google Classroom. Many of our students have taken this test, and I really had a good digital learning experience. Thank you.
Okay, so the conclusion is the biggest change that I'm seeing after hearing all their reflections are they are able to attend class online. So this is the biggest change that we did in this pandemic period. So we make the children to sit inside the home, and they are with their virtual teachers. So I'm so happy that this is the very big change that is going on. So there is no lockdown for academics. As we have seen in the video, there is no lockdown for academics, and thanks to all the teachers here who are taking lots of efforts to make their children getting knowledge. Second, I would like to share my experience. So these are all the changes and the challenges that the learners are experiencing. So the changes, after actually they are sitting and they are listening to their teacher. Apart from that, uninterrupted concept recall is happening. Yes, actually the government has announced the nationwide lockdown from March 25th, I think. So that is the first phase. So all the educational institution got closed. So they discussed, the institution, the teachers, they discuss and they come to a conclusion to conduct online teaching. So this created a bridge between their previous academic session and the academic session that is going on now. So uninterrupted concept recall is happening. This I am seeing it as a big change. And next, integration of ICT. Whatever the platform the teacher or the learner are using, they are using information and communication technology. This is the dream for most of the tech savvy person. Third one is self-paced learning is possible with the help of online teaching pedagogy. Because actually the teachers, they are sharing the materials online. So it is easy for the learners to browse those information anytime they want. Then e-learning posts. So the teachers, either in the Google Classroom or through their blogging or through WhatsApp, they are posting the e-learning materials. So this is the biggest change that I'm seeing. And virtual meet with the teacher and peers. Though we are in quarantine, though we are inside homes, we are able to meet our teachers and peers through virtual classrooms. And it is easy access and frequent contact with faculty members that makes a big difference. Suppose if a parent want to meet the teacher to get the reflection about their ward, it is easy now, right? So these are all the changes. And what are the challenges that the learners are facing? FA, it is formative assessment, in formative assessment and summative assessment. Actually, out of curiosity, many institutions are giving homework every day from all the subjects. So it is not possible for the learners to complete every assignment. So this challenge can be rectified by assigning timelines for each subject, and they are doing it right now. And adherence to timeline, this is very important. Adherence to timeline is, since kids, it is not possible to adhere to the timelines. For a KG kid, though online teaching is going on for KG student also, and so adherence to timeline, I feel it as a challenge for smaller kids. And for others, I think it's okay. The most important thing in online teaching for every stakeholder is technical difficulties. Yes, we need high-speed internet. So without that, it is not possible to conduct online teaching, and it's a big challenge. Yes, for this we have to rely on our government to take essential steps after this pandemic period. And scaffolding, this is a very big challenge. Suppose in a normal classroom, in an offline classroom, it is easy for the teacher to analyze the level of each learner. We will be able to identify whether they are with us or not by seeing their facial expression. But in online teaching, it is not possible. So it would be difficult for a teacher to scaffold a child, because scaffolding can be done after seeing their assessments. Since we are having timelines to submit the assignments online, it is not easy for the teacher to go back to the lesson and give some sort of remedial practices to that particular kid. So these are all the challenges we have to encounter with respect to the learners. Any questions from audience end with respect to learners? Any questions? Shall we move on to the next stakeholder? I know it is difficult to listen to a person. Yes, okay, fine. Let's move on to the next screen. So the next stakeholder is the teachers. So before that, I just want you people to engage yourself. So please log on to slido.com. I think most of you have attended previous, yesterday's session from Mr. Tiago, right? So this is the ID to enter into the Slido platform, 73302. So those who are working in your laptops, you please try your best to log into Slido, and I just want to know few informations from you. As a teacher, I just want to get few reflections from your end. So please try to log on to slido.com and use the code 73302. Okay, let me project my first question. How many online courses you have attended? Yeah, 2, very good. Not attended, very fine. Yeah, the third person is typing, I hope. More than 10.
Ma'am, could you share the screen?
15. Yeah, I'm sharing this. 1 second, 1 second.
Yeah.
Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So the 13 participants try to log on to Slido. Okay, fine. And I'm so happy that most of you people have attended lots of online courses, 20. Okay, I don't know the person who typed 20. I just want to get reflection from you. Okay, I will ask you questions. And hats off to you, ma'am. Whether it is ma'am or sir, my heartfelt wishes to you. Okay, let's move on to the next question. May I? 17 people. Yeah, increasing geometrically, fine. I think this is a maths teacher. Good. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. What's your opinion? Are we, yeah, interesting? Tough, maybe interesting. Yeah. Good. Interesting and innovative, both. Getting new information at the place where we are very good. That's a nice thing, you know. During this pandemic period itself, 164 people are able to meet in the cloud, right? That is the biggest change. Though we have challenges, this is the biggest change that I'm seeing. Okay, 25 participants are online. I'm happy. Okay. So most of you are telling it is interesting and innovative. Okay, fine. Only few of you are telling it is tough. Fine. Let's move on to the third question. This will be little difficult, yet I just want to know the name of the course. So far not intended. Good. Tissue culture, FDP, okay. OER, OER, okay. Innovative ICT tools related to COVID-19. Slido, fine. TQM, innovative ICT tool. Okay, 19 of you are able to give answer for this. Yeah, 21 of you. Slido, fine. Moodle, series of lectures. So very good. Okay, let's deactivate. I'm deactivating the poll now. Yeah, so participants, you please not to try. Okay, thank you for your enthusiastic participation. Okay, so those who have attended your online classes, could you please share me the difference between the offline class and the online class? In a sentence, in the chat box. So what are the difficult or what are the challenges? For me, actually, I have completed 4 online courses under Coursera. Okay, the biggest challenge for me is doing the assignments. Yeah, this is very fine. We can easily recollect information whenever necessary. Yeah, that is self-pacing. Yeah, it is time consuming. It depends upon the connectivity. Yeah, the technical issue is a vital challenge. In offline, it is easy to share our views. Yes. Actually,
Excuse me, ma'am.
most important is, excuse me, yes.
Your screen is not visible.
One,
Your screen is not visible, ma'am.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you for your reflections. And I have collected the reflection from teachers and from one teacher and a teacher educator regarding the challenges that they have encountered during their online teaching. Let's hear.
I am Sharmila, handling pedagogy of teaching English at Annamal College of Education. When the lockdown was announced all of a sudden, I was much disturbed as I have not taught an important chapter on teaching and evaluation to my English optional BA trainees. Then I created self-learning material using Google Sites, which consists of PowerPoint, few videos and theory, and shared the link to my students and asked them to go through the material shared and to come for a video conferencing on Zoom after 3 days. They were asked to download Zoom and meeting ID was shared with them via WhatsApp group. Out of 24 English optional students, only 16 were present. Few had only audio connectivity and few complained that they could not get connected. We had an interaction and few were active as they have read the learning material well. Followed by the discussion, a test was announced on the topic. 3 days time was given and an online test using Google Form was conducted, and 22 students have attended the test and all of them did well. All application type questions were asked. This is my pre, while and post Zoom experience. Thank you. And
so after her reflection, I'm able to understand the planning that she did, because she has to plan to share the learning materials prior to the class, and she has to arrange Zoom meeting. She has to announce it earlier, and she from her feedback, it is understand that few children are not able to connect. Though there is a change, challenges are also there, but she is able to conduct assessments also, but it needs lots of practice and preparation. And next, I got a feedback from a teacher.
The couple of challenges that I faced in my first online teaching experience were first to get used to the technology and the platform we were using, then to realize that it required a special kind of focused and dedicated planning, which in fact took longer than usual classroom transactions do. The other thing that was very discomforting was that due to bandwidth issues, we were unable to have our learners' cameras on at all times. And this entire muting and unmuting process kind of took away the spontaneity that is the classic feature of a classroom environment.
Yeah, according to her, the challenges are only the bandwidth connectivity, and it needs lots of planning before going online. So these are all the challenges that the teachers are sharing. And here is the list that I have encountered as a teacher educator. So be organizing the lesson topically in modules, because after announcing the lockdown, it is very much essential to conduct online classes, and for every teacher, their institutions actually they are asking them to conduct online classes. So from that particular point, they have to take their steps, baby steps in online classes. So we have to organize the lessons in such a way that it would not be too heavy for the learners. So first task is, the teacher has to segregate the lessons, or she has to plan it as modules or chunks. The teacher is not going to present offline class. So for online class, how are we going to chunk the materials? That matters a lot. Then planning, that is very much important. Pre, during and post virtual classes, that is very important. So prior to the virtual class, what are the tasks that the teacher has to encounter during the class? For example, consider our case now. During the webinar, I have to, as a speaker, I just want you people to be active participants. So I have to switch over the screens, and I'm making you people to do something, right? So during the classroom also, the teacher has to make the participants to be active, and she has to plan some activities for that. And post virtual classes, assessments are there. And the learning material preparation and distribution. So suppose if a teacher is handling grade 9 and grade 10, just think the workload for that particular teacher. So the learning material preparation and distribution is very important. Distribution, it is not inside the classroom, it is in the cloud. So she has to choose a particular platform to transact her information as well as to distribute her information. So this is a change but a challenge also. planning for right platform. This is very much essential because depending upon the bandwidth availability of the learners, the teacher has to choose the platform. It does not depend only with respect to the teacher. Learners also matters here. So the choosing of right platform is a change as well as a challenge. But we can do with lots of planning. Then most of all admin works also, taking attendance. Apart from academics, they are doing admin works also in this online teaching program and follow up on assignments based on the deadlines or based on the timelines that is shared to the learners. It is the responsibility of the teacher to know the particular grade level of the particular learner, because after seeing their assessment grades only, it is easy for the teacher to plan the remedial classes or about scaffolding. And so these are all the changes as well as the challenges that I'm feeling that is happening in online teaching as a teacher. Next one is, what is the role of the parents here? So I have collected two from parents.
Hello everybody. I would like to share about the online teaching. Classes are a great way to make children engaged with learning. There are many ways through which teachers provide inputs, and they appeal to the learners as they combine audio and visuals. I find my son understanding concepts better when such multi-sensory modes are adopted. As a parent, it gives me an opportunity to know the interactions in my son's classrooms, which is otherwise not possible. These online methods of teaching is in a way a learning for parents as they come to know about online technologies. The downside of it is that children become disengaged when the classes are longer. They then become to do other things like browsing and chatting using the internet. This requires the parents to keep an eye on the child, and parents can no longer afford to be ignorant of technology. Online teaching and learning is a great substitute during this period, no doubt about it. This cannot, however, replace.
So after hearing her reflections, I felt like, yeah, the parent has to accommodate the children when they are doing their online classes. So this is one of the biggest challenge for the parent, because they are also doing work from home option. Yes, as a teacher, she has to prepare for her class, but as a parent, she has to sit with the kid. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Yeah, so these are all the points that I have noted down as changes or the challenges with respect to the parent. Constant monitoring on gadgets for the information from the teacher or from the school. Yeah, actually, in order to know the timings of every subject, it is essential that the parent has to see the gadget continuously and keeping track of their works during virtual meets, because as she rightly pointed out, the children, since they are kids, they may be switching over between various slides. So parent has to keep track of what they are doing in their online classrooms. And as she rightly pointed out, it is easy to review the classroom. Normally, during offline, normal classroom, in normal classrooms, it is not possible for the parent to go and see how the classes are going on. She may not be having a full idea about the conceptual knowledge of the teacher. But in this case, in the virtual class, it is easy for the teacher to review the concepts as well as the teacher. Then managing timeline along with work from home option. So this is the biggest challenge that the parent might have experiencing. Few parents and system requirements, and few parents may not be a tech savvy people, and for their kids it is too difficult, because the children, they may rely only on the teacher regarding these issues. So these have to be sorted out over mails, and tech savvy knowledge is very important. So these are all the challenges that the parents are encountering, but all these challenges can be rectified if you plan well. Finally, teaching and the learning process. So what are all the changes that happened in teaching and the learning process? Everything got changed, starting from teaching till assessment. For teaching, we have to use one sort of platform And for learning, we have to provide some other platform for the children. And for assessment, the teacher has to use some other platform. So with a single platform, it is not easy for the teacher to plan teaching, learning as well as assessment. For example, let's take for sharing the screen or for transacting what I know about online teaching to you all, I'm using PowerPoint presentation. And in order to gather together, we are using Zoom. In order to assess you all, they will be using GForms. So for online e-learning, we have to choose various platforms with respect to teaching, learning, and assessment. And cyber safety, that matters a lot, because while Zoom come into existence, actually many resisted, because they feel that lots of privacy issues are there, but actually the company, they resolved everything. And choosing the right platform for transacting information is very much essential. Whether it is a Google Room or a blog or whatever the classroom they are choosing, that doesn't matter. But it has to be accessible for the children also. So prior to sharing of information to children, it is essential by the teacher to collect all such informations. Right after that, only they could be able to do all these things. Next, the challenges faced by the institution. Yeah, I think a few institution heads are here. May I able to talk to Joanna Goldie now? Are you there, Joanna? Organizers, is it possible to talk to her? Could you please unmute her? May I ask her to share her reflection as an institutional head? Emma, Tangaselvam, Vinodini.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Is it
ma'am.
possible to talk to Joanna?
Yeah. Sure. Sure, ma'am.
Yes, please. Joanna, are you okay with this? Okay.
Not available, ma'am.
Yeah, she's available, dear. She's in the chat box. Okay, if not, okay. Okay. Please unmute the audio for her.
Okay, ma'am. Can continue, ma'am.
Joanna, are you there? Hello, yes.
You can continue. She's not available.
Is it possible? Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, as an institutional head, they may encounter. Okay. Is it visible? My screen
No, ma'am.
now?
It started. Started, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. Actually, during the first phase, during phase 1 of lockdown, every institution was taken aback because everything is in between. So they have to plan the timelines and the schedule for conducting the online classes. So during phase 1, it is not possible for all the educational institutions to start their sessions. Second one, resource sharing. Think of a teacher. The teacher, she's going to take care of the particular class or the sections, right? But for an institution, think of the bandwidth they require to share their resources for all the classes. That too, pre, during, and post meets, right? So they have to keep an eye. An eagle's eye is essential for doing these things. Then they have to choose the right app with cyber safety, because parents, they will pose lots of questions, they will pour down with questions, and it is responsibility of the institutional head to take care of those issues.
Excuse
Then
me, ma'am.
technology
I'm online.
okay.
Can I?
Please. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
Joanna, you're audible.
yeah, thank you. Good
Thank
evening,
you,
everyone.
Jona. I'm sorry. Mhm.
Yeah, it's okay, no problem. I'm the headmistress of Johnson Nursery and Primary School. Hope everyone just talking about the college students, teacher educators, and the high secondary students. But there is a group called nursery and primary, and it was really a very difficult task to gather everyone. First and foremost, it was very hard to get even their phone numbers. That was each every time as we are thinking they are using only one mobile numbers, not at all, just like every week they are changing the mobile numbers also. It was a bit difficult task for the teachers, for my teachers, to ring up to each and every one. Though we get the numbers, it was very hard to get their email addresses, because since we started with Zoom platform, and there were a lot of Zoom bombers, so we thought it's not secure and we wanted to go for a private thing, and we faced that kind of difficulty. Then I wanted to choose the G Suite from Google. We wanted to have a full all the kinds of technical managements to access, not only the Google Classroom. So even there is a lots and lots of forms and additional services, everything is there in the G Suite. But the thing is, they're expecting to have a non I mean trust organization, but we are not on trust, so that is a problem for us. And K to, I mean, the kindergarten to 12th standard, but we have from just till primary 5. So that is a big difficult. So we were not able to get the G Suite. Then we switched over to the Class Dojo. So actually that is also like a separate Facebook app, like, but I can inculcate all my teachers, students, parents. So after getting the email ID from the students, there is a next thing I faced is they forgot the email ID password, and once again we have to create a new, we have to add. So still now the process is going on only in adding, and still we are not able to start the, because now only we started, because from abruptly the school was locked down. And moreover, by June we expect so, but I think in Dubai all they have announced like nearly for 2020, forget about the normal traditional classrooms. It's going to be only online teaching. So we are getting ready for it, so we are also getting ready for it, and that's the main thing we are focusing on. And still now we are progressing with the email ID collections and the phone numbers alone. And now most of them we have started getting it. And the one thing what I feel very difficult is these primary children. At least you send a video or assignment, somehow they will try to manage, because they are all now like tech savvy life. But just imagine and see the nursery kids. What are we going to do with the nursery kids? We cannot have a physical touch, no emotional bond along with them. We are missing them badly. We don't know how are they going to do it. And most probably fishmongers in our area, most of them are fishmongers children are there, so they don't even have a smartphone at all. So that is a very big difficult task. Still we are not able to get few parents even mobile numbers, and some are out of service, wrong numbers, and so on. So lots of difficulties. And even though the children come for the online classes, the learners are, of course, they are passive listeners but are active. They're enjoying that kind of class. But what is, we are not
Mm.
able to assess them or anything. So within that particular time we have to complete our teaching, or we have to keep on see the timing. Oh my god, 40 minutes Zoom is going to be closed. We have to finish it. I cannot get any other period. One for a day I can have only 40 minutes. Oh my god, I have to see for another thing. So that problem we are facing. And very big task what we are facing. There is a mediator for our kids. If there is a college student and at least higher secondary student,
Yeah.
they are able to do it on their own. Each of them have their own phone. So in this we have to have a mediator,
Yes.
the
Yes.
parent. There's the father, mother. Then the father is going off for the work. mother saying, oh, the mobile is with the father, so we cannot connect. I don't have mobile. So that is also a big problem. And what you said, I really accept to it. We have to go for different platforms. Zoom, then we coming for class dojo, then for assignments we are going for a different platform, which will be easily. And most probably now we are, our main thing, the challenge is we are concentrating on the gamification pedagogy. So that is what challenges we face, and
Yeah.
we are just practicing over it, and we are getting used to it. And this is
Super.
it. That's it.
Okay, thank you so much, Jonna, because I just want to have the real experience. So I just called you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
And thank you organizers for letting her in. And now you are able to identify the real challenges that a particular institution is facing. Yes. And now I'm happy that the nursery children are also doing their learning online, right? So now they will be familiar with these words: Zoom, Class Dojo, etc., etc. I'm seeing that as a change in the field of education. So I'm happy for that. So every institution is trying to give techno training to both the learners, teachers, as well as to parents. So orientation is essential in order to do all such things. So orientation is also a change as well as a challenge for every institution. And now it is possible to collaborate with other institutions. Now you are conducting a webinar and you are connecting with many speakers, right? And teacher exchange programs normally we can't do, but in the case of online teaching it is possible. And since the next year is going to be very hectic period for both class people, it is essential to shrink the curriculum, and that is also a big challenge for the institution. But anyhow, I think everything will go fine. So with this, I just want to wrap the session because the time is 4:11. So I just want to say this. So in online study, learners are enjoying much, but the teachers are doing great work. So salute to every teachers. So 20 questions every teacher should ask themselves in 2020. So these are all the 20 questions. I will try to share this PowerPoint with you all, so don't bother to see the questions now. And our future classrooms will be like this. Actually, I have collected this from WhatsApp, but I'm thinking it is going to be the change after this pandemic period. See the class, Miss, he's wearing my mask. Miss, he's coughing on me. He says my mask is cheap. And finally, they are able to say that finally, with the help of this mobile screen, they are able to listen to the teacher. So what I want to tell you is, please try to accept the challenges. So do not change the challenges, challenge the changes. So that is my request to you all. So in your future classes, please try to have both parallel session. I mean online classes as well as offline classes. If you are doing teaching inside your classroom, please try to assess your children outside the classroom over online. Most of you are using flipped learning platform, and please try to continue this thing. If we are not updating ourselves, we will be outdated in this 21st century. So change is the nature of life. Please accept and learn the changes to come out with flying colors in the new environment. So thank you so much for your patience listening. And if you have any questions, you please pose your questions in the chat box. Okay, you are all very keen on filling your feedback forms. I know it is not possible to listen to a person, or it is not possible to listen to a monologue for a long time. So thank you so much, participants, and so thank you so much, organizers.
Ma'am.
Organizers, yeah, may I leave? Yes, yes, dear.
Shall we conclude?
Okay, may I yes.
Shall we conclude, ma'am?
Yes. Yes, you can conclude.
Okay. On behalf of Hannamal College of Education for Women, we thank you all for your enthusiastic participation and patient listening, because this kind of program would not be possible without people like you. So thank you all. Also, we thank our resource person, Dr. K.E. Valamati, for accepting our invitation and igniting our minds to overcome the challenges of online teaching. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm one of you, dear. No need to thank me for this.
Dear participants, kindly fill in the feedback form and overall assessment posted in the chat box. Only those participants who have scored 50% and above will receive e-certificate. So once again,
So this is the assessment. Yeah.
okay. So once again, we thank you one and all, and we wish to have your support and cooperation in all our future endeavor. Thank you one and all.
Emima, may I leave the chat room? I mean, may I leave this Zoom? Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you, Selvam, Emima, Vinodini.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, and please convey my thanks to Principal Ma'am and our teacher educator participants here. Thank you so much.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.